Hey there, and welcome back to Train Them Up. Today we are going to be talking about some books that I recently purchased from Book Outlet for super cheap, and books that are recommended from Honey for a Child's Heart. So if you haven't already watched my video about this book, I'll link that above. Be sure to watch that before watching this book haul. So go ahead and grab a drink, grab a pen or pencil and some paper, because you're going to be wanting to write down these titles to get. I was so shocked at how many books were on Book Outlet that were recommended in a child or Honey for a Child's Heart. I was blown away because I just assumed that a lot of the books wouldn't have been printed recently, considering a lot of the books are more classic literature, so they're 30, 40, 50 years old, but they're timeless and they are full of really, really great stories and illustrations. So I was absolutely thrilled when I got on Book Outlet and saw that there were over 50 titles that I had typed in and that was in my book budget to purchase. And there may well be more than 50 titles on Book Outlet right now from the book Honey for a Child's Heart. But I'm just going to share 10 of those with you today. So first one is Chris Van Allsburg, The Wreck of the Zephyr. If you haven't ever read this before, buy it. This is one that's going to add so much to your library, and I'll just read a little quick portion of this. So the winds have shifted once again, and you're invited back to the wreck of the Zephyr to hear the story of the boy and his obsession with becoming the world's greatest sailor in a storm that carried them to a place where boats sail on the wind instead of on the water. Oh, the imagination in this book is just breathtaking, and the artwork is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And here's one of the pictures. Actually, I think that's the picture from the cover. Let me find another one for you. And it reminds me a little bit of Disney's Peter Pan, where the ship is sailing across the sky and by the clock tower. And it's just a beautiful book about imagination. So I think every child should read this book. It's absolutely pure gold, and I'm sad to say this and a little bit embarrassed to admit this, especially on YouTube. I had no idea Jumanji was a book. Anyone else? So I just mentioned Chris Van Allsburg with The Wreck of the Zephyr, but he also wrote Jumanji. Y'all, it's a book. So naturally I had to get this, and look, dun, 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 there's also a CD in here. And it is read by Robin Williams. And I love Robin Williams. Such a great actor. And of course, he was in Jumanji, and so it's really special to hear him read it and just experience it in a different way. too. So it's just, it's gorgeous. So make sure to pick up a copy of Jumanji from Book Outlet if it's still on there. I pray and I hope that it is, because that is such a steal. I'm pretty darn sure I spent less than $5 on it. Also, Margaret Wise Brown, very popular author of Goodnight Moon, The Big Red Barn. One of the titles that I had never heard before was North, South, East, West. And I found this on Book Outlet as well. And I absolutely love Margaret Wise Brown. And I really liked the illustrations in here. And I'm not sure how to pronounce this name, but the illustrations are absolutely phenomenal. So if you haven't ever heard of this book, definitely check it out from your library, purchase it. Ooh, yes. Also, eezer Changes the World. This is such a cute book. So let me read a little bit of the inside here. eezer is an ordinary puppy. He barks, he slobbers, he tinkles on the carpet. But then something happens that changes him, and the world may never be the same. Simple yet profound, funny yet serious. This touching story will remind even the skeptics among us that the most remarkable changes often come from the least remarkable places. It's an amazing story. It's so good. So, so good. And the illustrations in here are beautiful watercolor. Y'all know me. I love some good illustrations. I wish I had the talent, but sadly I do not. Speaking of illustrations, Tommy DePaula. This man was very gifted, very blessed, and I wanted to grab this. I had no clue that he did this, but let the whole earth sing praise. And let's see. It is inspired by the Old Testament scripture and the beautiful folk art of the Atomi people of Puebla, Mexico. And it's just so pretty. And it was, let's see, I want to say this was written in 2010, 2011. And y'all, it's gorgeous. It is so fun. I love reading this with my toddler. She really enjoys the pictures in here. He wrote, I think, over 200 children's books and has been the recipient of a Newbery honor, a Caldecott honor, and is just a phenomenal person. So if you ever see Tommy DePaula's books, grab one. I was really thankful to find this on Book Outlet, and especially so cheap. We read this book, I want to say, for 1 to 2 weeks in a row before we would read our Bible. And now my daughter has the verse memorized, which is awesome. So also, this one is really good. If you have never read The Undefeated, this is by, oh goodness, I don't want to say the name because I will butcher it. That's really terrible. So this is a love letter to America, to Black America, to the grit, passion, and perseverance of our greatest artists, athletes, and activists, to the dreamers, to the strength and bravery of everyday people caught in the web of history, with references to lyrics and lines originally shared by our most celebrated heroes. This poem digs into the not-so-distant past to underline the endurance and spirit of those surviving and thriving in the present. This includes a bonus downloadable audio version that's read by the author. So highly, highly recommend this book, and the art is breathtakingly beautiful. It is so gorgeous. Sorry, I'm not holding this very well. A very powerful book. So if you haven't ever purchased this, do so. Also, we have Patricia Polico. I'm not 100% sure if I pronounced that right. Probably not, knowing me. But thank you, Mr. Falker, is so good. And I feel as if as a homeschool mom, this is just like a shout out to teachers, whether you're in the public school or you're at home. This is about a little girl who is learning how to read and write, and she gets her numbers and letters all jumbled up, and her classmates unfortunately start making fun of her, and she's having a real hard time at school, and a new teacher comes in and saves the day and completely changes her outlook on learning, and just makes a huge impact on her life. So this book is a must-have, in my opinion. Another one by William Steig, Dr. Desoto. I want to say I had this book as a kid, but completely forgot about it until I was looking through Honey for a Child's Heart, and I was typing in a bunch of different books that I hadn't, that I don't have in my home library, and came across this, and I was like, oh, I need to get this, and I recognized it. I forgot about the story, but it is so touching, and I think it's a great way to introduce the dentist as well. Like, it's just a funny story, and so maybe for those kids who are a little hesitant to go to the dentist, you can read this story to them, and it's may lighten the mood a little bit and relieve some of the stress if you can read it and talk about this book. And also, last but not least, I wanted to share this one by Charlotte Zoltol. Do you know what I'll do? And I was thrilled to see this on book outlets. It is very important to me that we have multiple races and cultures and diversity in our homeschool. We're blessed to have several family members and friends of all different backgrounds. And being in the US, we have just a melting pot of different cultures and people. So being able to represent is just so important, and something my husband and we have been praying about and thinking about is fostering to adopt. And I don't really have an update on that, but if we do happen to foster, there is a very large African American population in Minnesota that need homes, and it's very important to me that we have books that they can relate to, and that we have toys and activities where they are represented. So I am thankful that we can include those in here. And those are the 10 books that I wanted to share with you. There were over 50 that I ordered, but we would be here all day if I were to go through each and every one of those books. I would highly recommend looking through the Honey for a Child's Heart annotated list of books. Go through your home library, see what you have or don't have, and go from there. But if you want to save money, shop on Book Outlet, and I will leave my link below if you would like to save some moolah. So I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the day. Happy reading, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.